Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Coverage Curious Harry and Arun Foot. Today we're here to discuss transfers and the season has come to a close. Mumbai City FC have been crowned the ISL Shield. Yeah, now it's time for probably the most fun part for many of the football calendar, which is the transfer season. I think everybody loves talking about rumors. There's a lot of speculation. This player might go there, this player might go there, and whatnot. So, yeah, we're going to try to confirm or deny some of the rumors. Um, like Anwar said, always, I think we just wait until the final confirmation is given by either club or the player, uh, the club that's selling. So, until then, you never know. So, yeah, we're going to start right at the top. Mohun Bagan, Supergiant. Hiren, any news on Mohun Bagan transfers in and out?
First of all, hello to everyone, and thank you very much, Igor Shimesh, Chetan VMpai. There are multiple rumors. मोहन बगान, ईस्ट बंगाल, केरला ब्लास्टर, ये सारे क्लब ऐसे हैं कि उनके फैंस तो मतलब और इनके रूमर्स भी काफी सारे आते रहते हैं, पर्टिकुलरली बंगाल के जो क्लब्स है, ईस्ट बंगाल एंड मोहन बगान, उनके लिए तो देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ रूमर्स. सबसे बड़ा ऑब्वियसली उसमें जेमी मैकलरन है, जिसका मतलब आई थिंक श्योर शॉट लग रहा है. आई वुड से मैं उसको रूमर नहीं बोलूंगा. आई थिंक काफी ज्यादा मतलब काफी सारे सोर्सेस सब बोल रहे हैं. बट बंगाल क्लब के साथ एक इशू मैंने जो मतलब एक इशू नहीं, एक चीज जो मैंने सीखी है कि जब तक उनका फाइनल ऑफिशियल नहीं आ जाता कि भाई दिस प्लेयर हैज बीन साइंड, तब तक उनका मतलब उस लेवल पे बिलीव करना थोड़ा सा वो मुश्किल है. ऑब्वियसली यहाँ पे रुजबा चेस्मी की भी बात निकल के आ रही है, फ्रॉम ईरानियन मिडफील्डर की. देन एक वानुआतू का डिफेंडर है जिन्होंने आई थिंक सेंट्रल कोस्ट मरीना के साथ अभी एएफसी कप जीता है, उनका भी लिंकअप का न्यूज आ रहा है. रूमर्स ये भी है कि अरमांदो सादिकू आपके हेक्टर यूथ से, ब्रेंडन हेमिल एंड जॉनी काको का बताया जा रहा है कि उनकी फिटनेस के ऊपर डिपेंड करेगा. तो ये 4 फॉरेनर्स एट द मोमेंट मोहन बगान के लिए लीव कर रहे हैं, एंड पेत्रातोस एंड जेसन क्यूमिंग्स कंटिन्यू करने वाले हैं. सो दिस आर दी सम ऑफ द अपडेट्स जो एट द मोमेंट फॉरेन अगर प्लेयर की बात करें तो यहाँ पे मोहन बगान की ओर से देखने को मिल रही है.
Igor Sima saying Jamie McLaren to Mohun Bagan, 99% done. Anwar,
इसमें 99 आई थिंक ये जो आता है ना, ये मेरे को थोड़ा सा समझ में नहीं आता सर कि ये 99% आइदर इट विल बी डन, आइदर इट विल बी 0 और 100, दो में से एक ही होगा. ये 99 क्या होता है?
See, at the moment, good afternoon, everyone, or late afternoon, early evening. As I said yesterday, as long as there is no 100% confirmation on a transfer in regard to the player signed for XYZ, it is still a rumor. It's rumor, it's speculation, and as I tried to explain yesterday, that there are players who are linked with clubs because agents want that link to happen, maybe the players even, maybe the clubs want that link. So therefore, again, Jamie McLaren was being linked, which has come out of a tweet out of Australia, I think, with 12 clubs. And Mohun Bagan happens to be one of them, Mumbai City being another one, and potentially a third or fourth ISL club also being interested in the player. And if I remember right, I think 4 weeks ago, people had said that Jamie McLaren to Mumbai City was done. So, so therefore, for me, let's wait and see. I think, I've heard crazy names being linked to Mohun Bagan, Angel Di Maria, Arturo Vidal, those kind of players. So therefore, what I know is or what I've heard clearly is that Mohun Bagan is considering of looking at options of having an A team, which is sort of say for the Asian Champions League 2, that there might be certain foreigners who might be signed by the club who will only play ACL 2 because you can register more foreigners at continental level. And therefore also this whole that Hugo Bumus will come to it. I mean, BFC I think has bought half of the foreigners in the league so far, in regard to rumors, that even Hugo Bumus might stay back in the end because he still has a running contract. And so therefore, with Mohun Bagan, and I think the biggest Indian player rumor is that Mohun Bagan are desperately trying to sign Lalinzwala Changte, which of course would be, they would break the bank for an Indian player for the money that they potentially would offer Changte, from what I'm hearing. But on the other side, Changte still has a contract at Mumbai, and on the other side, Changte might be considering of trying his luck abroad in the summer as well. So those are sort of what I'm hearing regarding Mohun Bagan, who are certainly looking for an additional Indian centre back and certain players mentioned by Hiren who they potentially could try and replace.
Yeah, they had
But
a yeah.
नहीं राहुल सर अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि दे आर प्लानिंग टू प्रिपेयर दैट ए एंड बी टीम फॉर ACL एंड फॉर द ISL डिफरेंट देन जो ये ACL 2 के लिए जो आप टीम प्रिपेयर करेंगे वो तो मतलब आपकी रेगुलर फुटबॉल तो नहीं खेलेंगे, स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द सीजन में ही खेलेंगे, उसको किस तरह से लोग मतलब मैनेज करेंगे?
See, the question is, what does Mohun Bagan, what does the owner, what does the management think, what they can do? I mean, they had big plans with the AFC Cup this season. That totally bombed, right? It didn't work out, and one of the reasons was and is the Indian football season, the calendar, which is too tight, and with all that is happening with Durand Cup, with then ISL starting, we had AFC Cup, Champions League in between. So therefore for me is it's a question of what does the management think, because ACL 2 lucky again they've got too many points. Otherwise my best example is if potentially Al Nassr played in ACL 2. Al Nassr will play now ACL, but the third, fourth team out of Saudi could be part of that group, right? So the question then is, you're spending a lot for Indian standards. You'll be spending the most as an Indian club, but in an Asian context, you're not spending a lot, right? So that's another reality. If Mohun Bagan even spend, I don't know, 200 crores, let's say, which is an insane figure for Indian football. So for me is thanks Igostima Ali Tihad, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Could
Al
be,
Ali as well.
Yeah, and that would mean that you would play Karim Benzema, right? So and those guys. So I don't know. Again, that's why there are crazy links with players, especially from Argentina, and let's see what happens there.
बट सर एक चीज यहाँ पे सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट राहुल कि नो डाउट कि आप ACL 2 में खेल रहे हो, एंड जैसे आपने बोला कि इस सीजन उन्होंने AFC कप का प्लान किया था उस हिसाब से वो एग्जीक्यूट नहीं हो पाया या फिर बैकफायर कर गया, बट आप ACL 2 का लेवल जो देखेंगे आई थिंक वो AFC कप से काफी ज्यादा है, क्योंकि आपके पास ACL में 40 क्लब थे इस सीजन तक, अब नेक्स्ट सीजन से उन्होंने कट डाउन करके वो 24 कर दिए है, तो बाकी के जो 16 क्लब से इवेंचुअली वो कहीं ना कहीं आपको यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि ACL 2 में ही देखने को मिलेंगे। सो एक तो आपको ACL लेवल की टीमों से खेलना है, दूसरा हमने देखा मुंबई सिटी का क्या हाल हुआ था ACL की जब टीमों के सामने आप खेलते हो, तो दूसरा यहाँ पे ACL में से जो थर्ड पे फिनिश करेंगे ग्रुप में वो आपके आ जाएंगे यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि ACL 2 में जो ये नया फॉर्मेट है उसमें। सो आपने जैसे बोला कि चाहे मोहन बगान इंडियन क्लब के हिसाब से भले ही ज्यादा स्पेंड कर दे, बट ओवरऑल अगर आप देखें तो स्टिल देयर इज ए ह्यूज, मतलब आप बोल सकते हैं कि उनको एफर्ट डालना पड़ेगा अगर उनको उस लेवल पे कम्पीट करना है।
I think that's the challenge, Hiren. I think that's the challenge for Mohun Bagan in regard to what they're trying to do. Again, even for Jamie McLaren, they would potentially break the bank, which is quite interesting because what I heard what Mumbai City was willing to spend on the player was much, much less. So the point is Mohun Bagan paying inflated salaries, to me is a question of, does it make sense? I would rather say, if you're spending 5 or 10 crores of that money on your youth development, on your youth system, and to me, that's the bigger question. I don't see an Indian club, be it Mohun Bagan, be it Mumbai City, who are the best in the country at the moment, being able to compete at that level if you have the strong teams from West Asia in their groups. Mumbai City was lucky in the first season of the ACL. They had some weaker teams in that group. That's why they finished second. But you saw last season they lost 6 matches. And if you have a tough ACL 2 group, Mohun Bagan will also lose 6 matches. So the question is, does that investment really make sense into those extra players? So therefore,
Exactly,
let's wait, see where we stand. And therefore, for me, it doesn't really make sense. I think your in German there's a saying, they call it your bread and butter business is your local league, and European Cup is a bonus. And it doesn't matter if it's if it's Bayern Munich or a smaller team for them, but again, it's going to be a very interesting one.
एक चीज मैं यहाँ पे बता देता हूँ, काफी सारे लोग दूसरे क्लब का भी पूछ रहे हैं। हम यहाँ पे इस सीजन का जो ISL का टेबल खत्म हुआ है उस हिसाब से चल रहे क्लब बाय क्लब, तो सारे क्लबों का हम डिस्कस करेंगे। स्टार्टिंग हमने मोहन बगान से किया है क्योंकि उन्होंने टॉप पे फिनिश किया है, तो सभी क्लब का आ जाएगा। तो आप जो हम डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं उसी के रिलेटेड कमेंट करेंगे तो ज्यादा मतलब उसको भी हम डिस्कशन में ऐड कर
We
पाएंगे
will,
कि हाँ भाई ये
yeah,
प्लेयर भी आ रहे हैं।
we'll talk about all the other clubs as well. And one thing which I forgot to say at the start, and I think Rahul, you should say that as well. Our Hiren has crossed 10K. So
Yeah.
everyone who's listening, who's watching, Hiren is inviting us to a party somewhere. I don't know yet where, but he's inviting us all over. Maybe to the final of the Gujarat Super League. It will be Hiren's party. So whoever wants to get to Ahmedabad, Transmedia ka, Hiren is inviting us. Congratulations, bhai.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
So Mohun Bagan again, incomings and outgoings. The other one was Jay Gupta. I don't know if you've heard that. Jay Gupta is being also linked
Yes.
with them, even though Marcus said no. But I think Jay Gupta is now in a very interesting situation. Is the question which arrives now is with Akash Sangwan signing for FC Goa. So might be looking to go elsewhere. And the question is, I feel Mohun Bagan are not happy with Shubhashish Bose. I think he was struggling in those last 4 matches, in those 2 matches against Mumbai and against Odisha, against Roy Krishna and against Changte. He was totally exposed. So therefore,
एक चीज सर, लास्ट सीजन भी उन्होंने आकाश मिश्रा के लिए फाइनल पुश किया था, वो तो बैटल में मुंबई सिटी जीत गई, तो लास्ट सीजन भी उनका वही प्लान था कि वी नीड टू रिप्लेस और वी कैन से स्ट्रॉन्गर लेफ्ट बैक पोजीशन विद यंगर प्लेयर।
I think that's going to be the thing. And Zoya, just to answer your question, Mohun Bagan is looking to sign more than 6 foreigners for the ACL too. So, and I think East Bengal is considering the same thing, even though they of course play the qualifiers first. So for me, it's an interesting scenario because it's sort of a merry-go-round. Who are the best Indian footballers? Can they go from A to B to C? Or can they be retained by their respective clubs? And that's the big challenge now, right? Because Mohun Bagan and Mumbai City have, so to say, the best squads at the moment, and now we'll see, how these clubs strengthen themselves, and yeah, that will be interesting.
एक चीज सर मैं यहाँ पे बीच में इंटरप्ट करना चाहूंगा, ये हम ट्रांसफर की बात कर रहे हैं, उसी में जो आपने इंडियन प्लेयरों के बारे में बोला, जनरली जो हमने देखा है इंडियन प्लेयरों के साथ अभी तक ट्रेंड, पर्टिकुलरली अगर मैं पिछले 1-2 सीजन की बात करूं, तो जब मनी की बात आती है, मैं कोई वो उसको बैड वे में नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, बट जब मनी की बात आती है तो कोई भी प्लेयर का मेरे को ये नहीं दिखता कि मान जी की अभी चांगते की आपने बात की, तो चांगते अभी एट द मोमेंट मुंबई सिटी में मतलब उसकी सिस्टम में बढ़िया कर रहा है, सारी चीजें है, एक वहां का मतलब पिछले 2-3 सीजन से बढ़िया कर रहा है, बट जब मनी की बात आती है तो हमने देखा है कि एवरी प्लेयर हैज बीन मतलब वो ट्रांसफर हो ही जाता है, चाहे सहल की बात की, काफी सारे ऐसे एग्जांपल है, देयर आर मल्टीपल एग्जांपल। तो वो चीज अभी तक हमको इंडियन प्लेयरों में वो देखने को नहीं मिला कि हाँ भाई मेरे को यहाँ पे जो मेरा करियर ग्रोथ है वो यहाँ पे हो रहा है, डिस्पाइट की चाहे भले सैलरीज में थोड़ा सा कम हो, तो उसको आप किस तरह से देखते हैं?
See, there are 2 sides of the story. I think one side of the story is with players is that they look after the salary, but it's again, Akash Mishra went to Mumbai for less money than he went to Mohun Bagan, right? Sana Singh, who's just been mentioned, Sana and Nikhil Pujari didn't sign for BFC for the higher contracts. They signed for longer contracts. So and therefore, to me, you have to think about what is smart for you, and if you say for Sahal it worked, for Thapa you would have said a few weeks ago it's not working, but now towards the end it did work. So therefore, again, you have to think about it. Anwar, we forget Anwar is also very early into his Mohun Bagan career. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens.
Yeah, guys. A lot of people asking about Mumbai, so we'll head to Mumbai then. Hiren, Mumbai City FC. Of course, a lot of outgoing departures expected, but any major incomings that are being talked about?
इनकमिंग में तो आई थिंक एक ही मैंने कल मतलब रूमर सुना है रिगार्डिंग दिस गोकुलम केरला विंगर पीएन नौफाल। अदर देन दैट अभी तक मैंने कोई यहाँ पे इतना बड़ा नाम, जैसे सर ने पहले मेंशन किया अबाउट जेमी मैकलरन की 10-15 दिन पहले उनका मुंबई सिटी के साथ ज्यादा लिंकअप आ रहा था कि वो ज्यादा उनको टारगेट कर रहे हैं। और परेरा डियाज का यहाँ पे भी श्योर शॉट हो चुका है कि इज गोइंग टू बेंगलुरु एफसी। तो डेफिनेटली मुंबई सिटी विल गो फॉर दैट, यू कैन से कि फॉरेन स्ट्राइकर, तो उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है। एंड दे विल ब्रिंग, मतलब कि उनकी जो सिस्टम में फिट होता है, जिस तरह का उन्होंने अभी तक हमने साइनिंग देखी है, फॉरेन साइनिंग ऑलमोस्ट यहाँ पे आप देखिए कि कंसिस्टेंसी दिखे कि उनके मेजोरिटी फॉरेन साइनिंग वर्क की है, ऐसा नहीं है कि एकदम कंप्लीटली फेल हो चुका। So I think they will definitely look for that signing. Other than that, Alberto Nogueira का भी न्यूज आ रहा है कि he might go to Bengaluru FC, तो I think वहां पे एक प्लेयर वो ला सकते हैं। योलवेन नाइफ का भी तो रुकने का न्यूज आ रहा है। तिरी का भी एक इवेंट टर्न लिया है कि पहले न्यूज आ रहा था कि वे बीएफसी में जा रहे हैं, अब आ रहा है कि वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्सटेंशन की बात चल रही है। क्रोमा ने अच्छा किया आपके लिए। सो 3-4 फॉरन, याकूब का इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा सर, आई थिंक सर ज्यादा बेटर बता पाएंगे रिगार्डिंग याकूब की, क्या उनको कंटिन्यू करना चाहते हैं वो, या फिर वो एक दूसरा प्लेयर वहां पे आई थिंक लाना चाहते हैं, वो इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा। विनीत राय का न्यूज आ रहा है कि इज मूविंग टू पंजाब एफसी। सो इंडियन कंटीजेंट में आई थिंक गुरकीरत सिंह चेन्नई एफसी जा चुके हैं। सो उनके रिप्लेसमेंट में क्या वो इंडियन प्लेयर को लाते हैं, आई थिंक ज्यादा देखिए अगर आप मुंबई सिटी का देखें तो उस तरह में उनको चेंजेस करने की जरूरत है नहीं, बट अगर ये सारे अगर उनको स्क्वाड अपग्रेड करना है देन डेफिनेटली वो यहाँ पे इंडियन प्लेयरों के लिए भी आई थिंक मे बी 1 or 2 जा सकते हैं।
There is of course the talk. Diamantakos is being named as a, supposedly he had offers from Mumbai, from East Bengal, and from BFC supposedly, and he's looking most likely to sign for Mumbai with another player from the Blasters joining, which would most probably be a heartbreak for the Blasters fan. Adrian Luna is supposedly in talks with Mumbai City to join Mumbai City, so that would be the other one. You've mentioned Vinit Rai is leaving. There's this thing that Raul Baker supposedly is going back to BFC, so that's also in there. But I hear that all the BFC linked players none of them might go to BFC. So therefore, let's wait and see. Because our TD already has been turned around. So therefore, again, because someone again on a match evening of an ISL Cup final, I don't know if that people were trying. Let's see what happens and
Brandon Dill का क्या है सर?
Brandon is done.
He is coming to Mumbai City.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting addition then. I think जयेश राणे का I think वो देखा है क्योंकि न्यूज आ रही कि मे बी BFC जयेश राणे को मतलब अब रखना चाहती है।
Supposedly he doesn't want to stay. So again, these are all ins and outs where I think nobody's 100% certain which way the journey is going for the player. I think there are some players who are scouting the market, who are thinking, okay, where can I go? Where does it make sense? I mean, Vinit Rai supposedly was going to East Bengal. East Bengal tried last year as well. And now he supposedly said that the project at Punjab FC is more interesting than East Bengal, which is, I guess, a slap in the face of people at East Bengal FC. But yeah. Let's see what they're going to do.
ये सर आपके जो मुंबई सिटी का जो मतलब अभी तो ये लग रहा है कि परेरा डियाज तो जा ही रहे हैं, और आपने जैसे बोला दिमांताकोस एंड एड्रियन लूना के लिए वो देख रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमने देखा कि क्या बोलते कि उसका मैं अटैकिंग मिडफील्डर का नाम भूल गया, ग्रेग स्टुअर्ट जब लीव किया, क्योंकि ही इज बीन द क्रूशियल प्लेयर फॉर मुंबई सिटी एफसी इन दिस लास्ट 2 सीजन। So Adrian Luna definitely will be I think say like to like replacement, और आप जो भी बोले, क्योंकि उनका भी जिस तरह से ISL में परफॉर्मेंस रहा है। So बाकी कोई आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो कि आउटसाइड मतलब जो भी ISL में नहीं खेला है ऐसा कोई फॉरेनर आ सकता है मुंबई सिटी?
The question is if TD is staying, TD and Kroma at the back. So that's the first question. If they do stay, then you don't have the question of centre backs. But the question remains, who's your 6th foreigner? If Nogueira is leaving, Jakub is not being retained. You have 3 on the books. So for me, then the question is, it's then the question is who's the 6th foreigner? Are you bringing in another striker or are you bringing another midfielder? So that will be then the question at Mumbai.
Yep. Interesting. I think. Are you expecting more outgoings than incomings from Mumbai?
Yeah, surely. I think the question is also with some of the youngsters. There's the news that Naucha might stay back at Kerala Blasters. Amar Ranawade is not clear at the moment. I think if Rahul Baker leaves, then suddenly Amar Ranawade becomes a candidate to come back. And I think, again, Mumbai is looking to sign a few more of the youngsters, try and develop them. They might loan them out somewhere. So, like Nikum has been loaned to Interkashi to get some more experience. And again, Valpuya is a good example, was at Punjab FC as well, as wrong class Punjab at the time in the I-League. So therefore, yeah, they'll have some incomings and have some, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Hiren, next team as part of the in the standings is FC Goa. Of course, we spoke about Brandon already. Nawam mentioned that it's pretty much done to Mumbai. Big loss for them, but any major incomings that you're expecting at Goa?
आई थिंक एक जो मेजर इनकमिंग है उनके लिए वो है आकाश सांगवान, जैसे सर ने पहले बोला, एंड दैट मेक्स द इंटरेस्टिंग सिचुएशन फॉर जय गुप्ता कि व्हाट विल बी हिज रोल. आई थिंक वो इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा. दूसरा आई थिंक मोहम्मद हमाद, जो कि अभी इंडियन स्क्वाड में सिलेक्ट हुए आई लीग रियल कश्मीर के जो सेंट्रल बैक है, उनको उन्होंने ऐड करने की कोशिश की है. सो आई थिंक दैट विल बी ऑल्सो इंटरेस्टिंग एडिशन, बिकॉज हमने देखा कि संदेश सिंघान को जब इंजरी हुई उसके बाद उन्होंने कहीं ना कहीं इंडियन सेंट्रल बैक के तौर पे उनको नारायण को भी खिलाना पड़ा था एंड बाकी प्लेयर को भी खिलाना पड़ा था, उतना वो कन्विंसिंग नहीं थे. सो वो एक वहां पे है. एंड आज जो मैंने न्यूज सुनी है कि एट द मोमेंट फॉरेन कोटा में अगर आप देखें तो ओडे ओनादिया, कार्ल मैथ्यू, ये दो एंड बोरहा हरेरा, इन तीन प्लेयरों को यहाँ पे एट द मोमेंट मनोलो मार्केस चाहते हैं कि वो रिटेन करे फॉरेन कोटा में. बाकी तीन यहाँ पे नए प्लेयर आएंगे, यानी कि नोहा सदोई तो हमको पता ही है, केरला ब्लास्टर वो ऑलरेडी डन हो चुका है. कार्लोस मार्टिनेस की जगह पे वो नया स्ट्राइकर चाहते हैं. एंड आई थिंक जो पाउलो रात्रे थे, जो ऑस्ट्रेलियन प्लेयर है, उनको भी इस सीजन उन्होंने कुछ खास यहाँ पे यूज किया नहीं. सो ये तीन नए फॉरेनर्स आपको एफसी गोवा में देखने को मिल सकते हैं. अभी कोई रूमर नहीं आ रहा कि कौन से फॉरेनर होंगे, बट दे आर लुकिंग टू रिप्लेस दीस थ्री फॉरेनर्स. इंडियन कोटा में ब्रैंडन विल बी बिग मिस, बिकॉज एक लोकल प्लेयर थे, एक आपके क्लब के साथ एक आइडेंटिटी भी जुड़ी हुई थी, तो ये सारे फैक्टर भी थे उनके. सो लेट्स सी उनका रिप्लेसमेंट कौन होता है. बाकी उन्होंने आई थिंक हैदराबाद से काफी सारे प्लेयर अभी यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं जनवरी में उठाए थे, जैसे आपके निम दोर्जी हो गए, मोहम्मद यासिर हो गए. सो वो आई थिंक मे भी कंटिन्यू करेंगे. सो दिस आर दी कपल ऑफ रूमर्स रिगार्डिंग द एफसी गोवा.
Anubhav, FC Goa.
FC Goa, the first question is about the coach, if Manolo is staying or not. There have been rumors that Manolo might be leaving or Goa may be releasing Manolo. So that will be interesting to see. And then I think will be interesting to see if how they're going to build again or rebuild the squad, under whom also. I think there might be some outgoings. I said Brandon has been mentioned. I mean, Noah Sadui is set to join Kerala Blasters, which is an interesting move. So so for me is the question of now, do you give younger players a chance, which FC Goa has of course done, but last season of course they brought in a lot of players. Also mid-season from Hyderabad as well, Nimdorji, Mohammad Yasir and others. Sorry. So therefore, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how FC Goa, try in big positions.
And what about Rowland Borges? I don't know, just on his future, what does it look like?
I think it depends on what Mumbai City is doing. Again, Vinit Rai is leaving. If they want to have a seasoned, experienced Indian midfielder, then it would mean Rowland Borges goes back to Mumbai. Same can be said about Rene Fernandez. So therefore, yeah, we'll be interested to see what Mumbai does with its loan players.
Okay. Hiren, Odisha, up next.
ओडिशा से पहले सर मोहन बगान में हमने एक चीज यहाँ पे जो कोच का आपने बोला, जैसे मनोलो मार्केस का, सो एंटोनियो हवास का भी नो डाउट उन्होंने फिर से वो इंडिकेशन दिया कि माइट स्टे फॉर वन मोर सीजन. बट आज न्यूज ये आ रही थी कि उनका सर्जरी होने वाला है, उसके बाद उनका हेल्थ किस तरह से रहता है उसके बाद वो डिसीजन लेगा. तो उसके रिगार्डिंग एनी अपडेट की विल दे गो फॉर अनदर कोच और एनीथिंग? I don't know, sir, regarding this Mohun Bagan sports.
Sorry. For me, I think I think some of the stuff gets lost in on Havas in regard to translations, right? So Havas I don't know. Did he want to say that I'm going to stay on as a coach, or did he say, "Listen, I generally want to stay on at Mohun Bagan"? Yeah, I think that's the question. I think you know. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But you know, Habas has proven in the last 10 years what he is in the ISL, and therefore he will, in some sort of capacity, most probably stay back at Mohun Bagan.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, most probably not as a coach. I know. I mean, given I think it does look like probably.
I think he might be interested to continue as a maybe sporting director role.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Could be.
Yep.
Could be.
You're in Odisha? Sorry.
Odisha, I think also won't be an interesting situation, because there are a couple of rumors regarding that Sergio Oliveira might leave, and when he last year joined, there is a, you can say, ki talk about he's come up with a 2-year plan or something like that and everything, and जिस तरह से उन्होंने साइनिंग भी की थी, डेलगाडो का आई थिंक खबर आ रहा है उनके, अगर फॉरेन प्लेयरों में बात करें तो ही माइट लीव. मोर्तादा फॉल का सिचुएशन इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा. रोहित कृष्णा का खबर आ रहा है कि ही इज आल्सो वांट्स टू लीव. देन सर ने जैसे बोला एमी रानावड़े का सिचुएशन, कि क्या मुंबई सिटी उनको रिटेन करती है या फिर दे विल सेल ऑन अ परमानेंट डील. अहमद जाऊ, आई थिंक अगर सर्जियो लोबेरा रुकते हैं तो आई थिंक मे बी वो भी यहाँ पे आई थिंक इज द क्रूशियल प्लेयर, सो ही माइट कंटिन्यू. डिएगो मोरिशो का इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा सिचुएशन. फिर साइड सिवाय गोडार्ड का आई थिंक मेरे को नहीं लगता कि माइट कंटिन्यू. सो ओडिशा में भी मे बी आपको 2-3-4 फॉरेनर्स तक आई वुड से कि चेंजेस देखने को मिलते हैं. अगर कोच चेंज होता है देन मे बी मल्टीपल चेंजेस भी आपको देखने को मिल सकते हैं. एंड इंडियन प्लेयर में भी आई एम सीइंग देयर विल बी सम इन एंड आउट्स इन ओडिशा एफसी. सो वहां पे भी आपको स्क्वाड में काफी ज्यादा चेंजेस आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग इन ओडिशा एफसी स्क्वाड.
Yeah. Another Odisha, as far as the players are concerned, any big changes?
As Hiren said, I think it depends on what happens to Lobera. If Lobera stays, I think certain players will stay. If Lobera leaves, maybe joins a rival in the league, they might go and join him again. There's I think not only Murtada Fall and Ahmed Jahu who would most probably join him. There are 5, 6, 7, 8 players potentially who could move with him if he goes to another ISL team. So therefore, that will be interesting to see what happens. And then, it's Odisha would have to most probably completely rebuild, because I think a lot of players will then leave, because I think a lot of players either stayed back because of Lobera or only joined the club because of Lobera joining the club.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from both of you is that for Odisha, let's just wait and watch. Let's see what happens with Sergio Lobera, and then we can move on to players.
Another point is, of course, not to forget, is the age of a lot of the foreigners at Odisha. Right? Yeah. They're all in and around or above the mid-30s. So that's another factor. Sai Goddard is the only exception on that.
Yep. Fair enough. Kerala Blasters.
केरला ब्लास्टर में पिछले 2 दिन से आई थिंक सोशल मीडिया आफ्टर दैट फैन इंटरेक्शन विथ अमर सीजन होल्डर, आई थिंक देयर आर ए लॉट्स ऑफ क्या बोलते कि काओस वाला सिचुएशन बन चुका है बिटवीन फैंस एंड मैनेजमेंट. एंड वहां पे मल्टीपल चीजें, मतलब रिगार्डिंग द कोच, रिगार्डिंग द फ्यूचर प्लान ऑफ द क्लब, रिगार्डिंग दिस प्लेयर्स, एंड जिसमें सर ने जैसे मेंशन किया कि दिमांता कोस एंड एड्रियन लूना का फ्यूचर एंड एवरीथिंग, बिकॉज दिस आर द प्लेयर्स की जो एक क्लब की आइडेंटिटी के साथ जुड़े हुए होते हैं. एंड वो अगर यहाँ पे उसका लीव करते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ फैंस ऑब्वियसली उसको पॉजिटिव लेते हैं, कुछ फैंस उसको उस तरह से लेते हैं कि भाई वाई दे लीव आफ्टर यू कैन से कि गुड परफॉर्मेंस. सो आई थिंक फॉर केरला, आई थिंक सबसे ज्यादा अगर आप बोलेंगे कि 12 क्लबों में से किस में ज्यादा मेरे को लगता है कि अनसर्टेनिटी है या फिर देयर विल बी अ लॉट ऑफ चेंजेस, आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट इन केरला ब्लास्टर टू बी ऑनेस्ट. तो आई थिंक इन एंड आउट्स की मैं उसमें उस तरह से बात नहीं करूंगा, लेकिन देयर आर मल्टीपल चेंजेस आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग इन केरला ब्लास्टर स्क्वाड.
Yeah, Anwar, you think the same? A lot of changes for the Blasters?
See, I think we've already heard that Diamantakos is not staying, so he's leaving. Adrian Luna could be leaving, I think, which is a year ago might have been unthinkable in regard to that he might go and might stay in the ISL and join another club. I think Leskovic will not stay because he's been too injury prone. They're trying to retain Rincic. And then the question is, do they keep the young players or do they sell them on like they did last summer, right? They sold Stahal, they sold Prabsukan. So then the question comes out is what are the Blasters going to do? Or how are they are they going to keep Vibin? Are they going to keep Azhar Ayman? Are they going to keep Nihal? Does Ishan Pandita retain his squad spot? Does he go somewhere? There's a lot of questions. I also saw yesterday an interview with Rahul KP, which I found a little disturbing.
What is he talking?
Yeah, I found it disturbing to say the least. But that's been Rahul KP. Talks more than with the talent that the boy has. Just focus, play your football, and don't talk. Just every mic you see, just go past it. That would be my advice to him. And he needs to focus as well. And maybe for Rahul KP as another one like Sahal, maybe going out of Kerala might be good. This whole fanfare, too much of people around him, you're patting him on his back. You're great. You're brilliant. You're one of the best. It seems to have gotten into his head. And I know it happened in the past as well at youth level with the youth national teams, and one of their national coach had to have a clear word with him. But otherwise, very, very complicated. I think the Blasters, as good as fan interactions are, and I think as honest as Nikhil was in these fan interactions, I think a lot of fans across a lot of clubs, not only in India but around the world, don't want to accept reality. And I think Nikhil broke a lot of hearts in pointing out a lot of things, and also pointing out, listen, we have fined Ivan Vukovanovic for walking out in that game, right? Which means that the club has by now realized the walkout was wrong. So that is, I think, for the Kerala Blasters fans to learn.
एक चीज सर उसमें उन्होंने बोली है कि आप देखिए फाइन किया, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि कोच को हमने सपोर्ट नहीं किया, उस गलती के लिए उसको फाइन किया गया है। आफ्टर दैट वे कोच को उसने मतलब मैनेजमेंट ने सपोर्ट ही किया है, ऐसा उन्होंने एक जो फैन ने उनको क्वेश्चन पूछा था तो जो कि मेरे हिसाब से सही भी है। अगर आप गलती करते हो तो ऑब्वियसली उसका आपको भी मतलब वो करना ही पड़ेगा। तो आई थिंक एज अ क्लब वो आपको डिसीजन लेना ही पड़ेगा। To set an example,
it's their job, and again,
exactly.
Being in the management of a club doesn't mean you have to be a fan favorite. You have to take a decision what you think, what the club thinks is in the best interest of the club, and sometimes what you think has been the best interest of the club might not be what the people are thinking as well. So that sometimes is a clash of interest.
Yep. So again, what I'm getting from you guys is that expect a lot of changes for the Blasters. We know that a couple of main players are going to be leaving. So, that's the gist for the Blasters. Chennaiyin.
I think that is the most exciting club at the moment in terms of the transfer rumors, because in last couple of weeks there is a multiple links to Chennaiyin FC, and I think जिस तरह से Owen Coyle next season के लिए team build कर रहा है, I think that will be really interesting because गुरकीरत उन्होंने sign कर लिया है from Mumbai City FC. Then उनके फॉर्मर क्लब जमशेदपुर से उन्होंने कपल ऑफ प्लेयर्स को उठाया है, यहाँ पे लेरेन पुया एंड आई थिंक एल्सिन्यो, अगर फॉरेन कोटा में बात करें तो चिमाचुकू इज अ बिग वन. देन आई थिंक ईस्ट बंगाल से भी एक प्लेयर को साइन किया है, मैं उसका नाम भूल रहा हूँ.
Yeah, and Kian Nasiri as well from Mohun Bagan.
Yeah, Kian Nasiri from Mohun Bagan. So I think he's signing couple of players, and अभी मैंने कल परसों rumors भी सुना है they also wants to go for Jixon Singh from Kerala Blaster. So I think Chennaiyin FC will be a busy club in this transfer window regarding Indian players and foreign players also, because ये भी न्यूज है कि कॉर्नर सील्ड एंड रेन एडवर्ड्स इन दोनों को ही वो कंटिन्यू करना चाहते हैं. राफेल क्रिवोलारो के रिगार्डिंग उनका फिटनेस के बाद उनका डिसीजन बनेगा, एंड बाकी सारे फॉरेनर्स यहाँ पे लीव करेंगे. सिरकोविच हो गए, बाकी आपके जो जॉर्डन मरे हो गए.
Ryan Edwards has been already retained, as has been Samik Mitra. So those two have already been officially announced as being retained by the club.
So foreigners में आपको maybe 2-3-4 नए foreigners देखने को मिल सकते हैं. एंड मोहम्मद नवाज का भी यहाँ पे लिंक आया था from Mumbai City FC to Chennaiyin FC as a maybe goalkeeper, and Samik Mitra को retain किया है. So I think we might see him as the first choice goalkeeper next season onwards. एंड इंडियन प्लेयरों में भी आई थिंक ऑलरेडी उन्होंने कपल ऑफ साइनिंग कर ली है. सो I think they are in a quite, you can say, exciting path to build a new team.
Anova, you think Chennai can really mount a challenge next season based on how they finished last year and these additions?
At the moment, they look like the team which has been the most proactive. So so for me is I think they look potentially much stronger on paper if all of these potential transfers are true, because again some of the transfers even Hiren said they're done, they're not done on paper yet, so therefore let's wait and see. There are maybe at the one or the twist and turn is still there. You're on mute.
Sorry, I was just saying that Chennai do look exciting. I think that they're one of those teams that are on the up, and it'll be interesting to see what Owen Cole does with this team next season. Hiren, moving on to Northeast United, a team that has sort of come back well after a couple of poor seasons. What more can they do, or what sort of players are they bringing in?
आई थिंक जिस तरह से उन्होंने लास्ट सीजन चेंजेस किए उसके बाद आई थिंक एक स्टेबिलिटी की ओर मतलब दिख रहे हैं. वो ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरी स्क्वाड नहीं चेंज कर मतलब ला देनी. आई थिंक जो जिन प्लेयरों ने यहाँ पे ये लास्ट सीजन अच्छा किया है उनको उन्होंने यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी फॉरेनर्स में भी उन्होंने यहाँ पे उनको रिटेन किया है, जिसमें नेस्टर एलबियाच है. देन आई थिंक एक और फॉरेनर्स में उसका नाम भूल गया. आई थिंक बेमा मेरे को भी उन्होंने आई थिंक एक्सटेंड कर दिया है मेरे हिसाब से. So and coach को भी एक्सटेंशन दे दिया है. So they are looking in a stability कि भाई जो जिन प्लेयरों ने लास्ट सीजन अच्छा किया है उसको हम रिटेन करेंगे. बाकी प्लेयर को ऑब्वियसली वो यहाँ पे डेफिनेटली नए प्लेयर्स लाने के लिए देखेंगे. इंडियन प्लेयरों में भी आई थिंक जिन्होंने अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस दिया है उसको वो कंटिन्यू करेंगे. सो दे आर लुकिंग विद यू कैन से कि एक क्लियर कट प्लान. ऐसा नहीं है कि हर सीजन हमें नई स्कोर बनानी है. So they are also one of the interesting side. I think जिस तरह से पेट्रो बेनाली ने इस सीजन टीम से परफॉर्मेंस निकलवाई है एट द लास्ट, मतलब पिछले उससे अगर पिछले 2 सीजन देखे तो दे एट द बॉटम ऑफ द टेबल. एंड आई थिंक इस सीजन उन्होंने एक अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस दिखाई ग्रोथ वाइज. अगर आप कंपेयर टू उन 2 सीजन से देखे तो एक अच्छा प्रोग्रेशन दिखा है. सो डेफिनेटली दे विल नाउ लुक फॉर यू कैन से कि नेक्स्ट सीजन यहाँ पे और भी ज्यादा बेटर करे. सो नेस्टर बेमामेर इज एक्सटेंडेड, यस एग्जैक्टली. बाकी फॉरेनर्स आपको मे बी यहाँ पे चेंजेस नए फॉरेनर्स देखने को मिल सकते हैं.
Yeah, but I know 2 key foreigners, I think Nestor and Bemamer for them. I think they can probably work around these two. These two will probably start every single game if they're fit for them. So
I think for Northeast, if you want to add another name, if they can extend Rabako, then they have a spine. Right?
Yeah,
they have a foreign spine. They've given Parthiv Gogoi a long-term contract. Gurmeet was signed on a long-term contract. So to me, it's a team which where Benali can work and build around, and they're trying to sign some talent in the Northeast. I think some ISL players are on their radar. Some other Northeastern boys across India are on the radar. So yeah, let's wait and see.
Yep. Okay, fair enough. Guys, a team that probably not a lot of people expected to be challenging for the top 6 in their first season in the ISL. Punjab FC have done extremely well. Of course, a lot of it came down to those 3 foreigners up top. But Hiren, what does their futures look like? Luka Marchin, Madi Talal, Wilmar Jordan, what's happening with them, and other transfer rumors with regards to Punjab?
पंजाब एफसी आई थिंक जितना मतलब लोगों ने एक्सपेक्ट किया था उससे तो मेरे को लगता है कि उन्होंने बेटर ही परफॉर्मेंस दिया है इस सीजन. एंड डेफिनेटली दे विल वांट्स टू ग्रो फ्रॉम देम. आई थिंक उनका प्रोजेक्ट मेरे को सिमिलर टू मुंबई सिटी दिखता है कि ज्यादा उतना मतलब ट्रांसफर में आपको उस लेवल का नॉइस नहीं देखने को मिलता. बट एक क्लियर कट उनका प्लान होता है कि वी वांट दिस काइंड ऑफ अ प्लेयर. एंड आई थिंक वर्गेतिस की बात भी करें तो आई थिंक इस सीजन अगर आप देखें तो फ्यू ऑफ द कोचेस की जिन्होंने रादर देन मेकिंग टू मेनी कंप्लेंट्स, आई थिंक उन्होंने एक वो अपनी टीम के ऊपर काम किया है. एंड आई थिंक अगर उनको कंटिन्यू करते तो आई थिंक मे बी दिस विल बी हिज 3rd ईयर. आई थिंक क्योंकि आई लीग में वो थे देन दिस सीजन एंड आई थिंक 3rd ईयर. सो डेफिनेटली एक्साइटिंग प्लेयर उनके पास भी है. अगर आप देखें उनकी जो जिस तरह से आप देखिए एक चीज इंटरेस्टिंग है पंजाब एफसी की कि उनकी जो यूथ साइड है अंडर 17 ले लीजिए या फिर अंडर 13-15, जिस तरह से वो आप देखिए कि परफॉर्मेंस दे रहे हैं सो वहां पे भी आपको आगे आने वाले साल में डेफिनेटली कुछ प्लेयर डेफिनेटली वहां से भी उनको मिलने वाले एकेडमी प्लेयर्स की अगर हम बात करें तो सो ऑब्वियसली फॉरेनर्स में आप देखें तो मेहदी तला का ईस्ट बंगाल के साथ यहाँ पे कब का वो मतलब काफी टाइम से वो न्यूज आ गया, ऑफिशियल अनाउंसमेंट नहीं हुआ है। सो वो अगर जाते हैं तो उनका रिप्लेसमेंट आई थिंक डेफिनेटली उनके लिए एक बड़ा टास्क रहेगा, क्योंकि मेहदी तला वाज द मोस्ट इंप्रेसिव फॉरेनर्स अगर आप देखें तो लास्ट सीजन रहा है। देन यू हैव विल्मार जॉर्डन, लुका मैचन, जोन मेरे को लगता है कि शायद वो रिलीज कर देंगे। आई थिंक उनकी जगह पे डेफिनेटली दे विल लुक फॉर न्यू फॉरेनर्स। फिर चेसियास का देखना रहेगा कि क्या उनको कंटिन्यू करते हैं, आई थिंक सेंटर बैक के तौर पे। इंडियन प्लेयर में भी आई थिंक दे माइट लुक फॉर रेनफोर्समेंट, आई थिंक वहां पे भी उनको जरूरत है मेरे को लगता है। सो दिस आर द साइनिंग दे विल डेफिनेटली लुक फॉर। प्रिंस्टन टू पंजाब, यस, प्रिंस्टन डेबेलो टू पंजाब हो चुका है, यस, दैट्स द साइनिंग देयर।
And do you think they can keep the foreigners apart from Talal in the team?
I think Kiran Limbu will be released. I think they've realized that it doesn't make sense to have a foreign goalkeeper because it robs you of that spot in the squad. So that means you open up something. I think they will try and sign a second defensive player. Vinith Rai looks to be signing with them in the coming days. Princeton is also close to signing with them in the coming days. So that means two quality midfielders joining them, which strengthens their midfield substantially. But one of the big questions would be the importance of Mehdi Talal to this team. I think Wilmer and Luka Machin wouldn't have been as good without the chances created by Mehdi Talal. East Bengal supposedly is done, but I've heard that I think Punjab are trying a last-minute effort push to try and maybe convince him to stay. Maybe. So yeah.
मतलब सर इसमें मेहदी तला ने ईस्ट बंगाल के साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन कर लिया है कि बाकी है?
Supposedly only a pre-contract.
then तो कुछ भी हो सकता है.
That's why, no. So that's why when in Kolkata people say that a player has been signed, that doesn't mean anything because we've seen so many players. If you go back last summer, who all supposedly signed for Mohun Bagan in East Bengal, and the best example is Akash Mishra. I said from the start, Akash Mishra is going to, in the end, most probably sign for Mumbai City, which he did. Mohun Bagan signing was confirmed, I think, multiple times by the media. So therefore, I always say, proper signature, documentation, stamp, bus, khatam. That's, you know, as Fabrizio Romano says, here we go.
Yeah. Yep. Hiren, moving on nicely then to East Bengal.
आई थिंक जैसे सर ने बोला अबाउट आयन समंदर भाई, आप डायरेक्ट भाई आते किसी बात को जाने बिना भाई सीधा बोलना आर यू अगेंस्ट कोलकाता क्लब, ऐसा नहीं होता। हमने हर किसी क्लब का डिस्कशन किया है एंड टेबल के हिसाब से हम चल रहे हैं। स्टार्ट हमने मोहन बगान से किया था एंड अगेंस्ट की बात नहीं है भाई, जो रियलिटी है वो है कि भाई
That's the reality. The problem is in Kolkata is that the media and
so many journalists, everyone is journalist
and the Twitter world. I mean, look at Iago is a good example. Igor Stimac, that how many players were linked and who were signed in the end. So therefore, I always say, and I've said it, it's a lovely thing, and even we are doing a discussion on who could sign. That's what I'm saying. You know, Hiren is already saying this player signed here, this player signed there. I'm waiting. I'm careful with that because as long as there's no official confirmation, or I've heard at least that someone has signed for someone, anything is possible. You know, and Marcus confirming a transfer doesn't mean that the transfer is done.
Yep.
So for me, and I know that someone is still trying to sign the player. So therefore, let's wait and see. Pre-contract is not a full contract.
No, can you reveal who?
Punjab are trying to somehow do a last-second thing, and the player was also at some stage linked with Mumbai City FC. So you know,
देखिए आयन भाई जो आप सोर्सेस बोल रहे हो, नो डाउट दे आर 99% accurate. That 1% is always in some of the signing.
Hiren, it's not a question of confirming. It's for me, it's very simple. I take the example of this whole story around Edmund Raldintica, right? One source wrote the player is signing for a club in Canada, which the player was never going to do. And everybody picked it up. Everybody picked it up. You know? So therefore, I always say be careful, because as long as, you know, there's no confirmation, it's not done. And my best example is, if all the foreigners that Mohun Bagan at the moment are being linked with, Mohun Bagan are going to sign 100 foreigners.
But back to East Bengal, I think जैसे सर ने बोला कि they are also planning to sign more foreigners for ACL, so that will make an interesting situation. And उनके भी काफी सारे रूमर्स आ रहे हैं, दिवान तकोस के साथ उनका लिंकअप रूमर आ रहा है, एंड मल्टीपल रूमर्स बाकी क्लब प्लेयरों के भी आ रहे हैं, उनके फॉरेनर्स की अगर हम बात करें तो, एंड इंडियन प्लेयर्स में भी आई थिंक इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा कि दे व्हाट आर दी quality Indian players they can bring. So I think उनके लिए भी आई थिंक बिजी ट्रांसफर विंडो रहने वाला है, एंड दूसरा एक उनका कितना बजट एलोकेट होता है, आई थिंक वो भी एक सिनेरियो रहेगा, उस हिसाब से आई थिंक हमें साइनिंग देखने को मिलेगी. एंड इस सीजन के जो फॉरेनर्स हैं, आई थिंक उसमें से मे बी सम ऑफ द प्लेयर्स आपको चाहते हुए देखने को मिल सकते हैं.
Well, I think East Bengal are trying to plug their holes which they had, you know, trying to rectify the mistakes in the sense in regard to the squad. Of course, they've had a lot of injuries, but again, Hijazi Maher is staying, Saul Crespo is staying. Clayton is a one of those which is interesting, that it seems like the coach wanted him to stay, but the fans don't really want him to stay. On the other side, they've been trying to sign some Indian players. One who I was very excited on seeing at Hyderabad, Magzo, is with East Bengal. Dijit Mojumdar has signed for East Bengal, sort of giving Prabsukan some bit of competition. Supposedly Provat Lakra from Jamshedpur has also signed for them. And yeah, they're trying to find players here and there in other positions. Well, they're looking for right backs, they're looking for left backs to replace some of the other players and see what they can do.
Okay. Irene, a lot of people asking about BFC. Finally, BFC, unfortunately, we had to wait till the 10th for the 10th team to finally discuss BFC. But yeah,
BFC में आई थिंक सबसे बड़ा जो रूमर्स या फिर न्यूज है आफ्टर द आईएसएल कप फाइनल इज Jorge Pereira Diaz, and then Alberto Nogueira, कार्लोस डेल्गाडो का भी मैंने सुना है. अभी कल मैंने न्यूज सुना है अलेक्जेंडर पियोनोविच को आपने एक्सटेंड किया है. So these are the players.
But Hiren, Pereira Diaz originally was supposed to sign for Mohammedan Sporting. Then
Mohammedan Sporting, FC Goa का भी काफी रूमर आया था उनके साथ.
FC Goa supposedly was done. And then now it's BFC. And again, Tiri, very good example. Even we were just mentioning Marcus. Tiri was confirmed by a lot of people, which then Tiri himself denied that he's going. At the moment, he's undecided. So therefore, that's what I'm saying. It's like until a club confirms, we can play this game of speculating. Will this player sign here? Will this player sign there? Therefore, as long as there's not a full contract signed, and there's some sort of confirmation, we're still in this game of trying to confirm, if the player is going here or there.
Hugo Bomoka, I think will more depend on the Mohun Bagan rather than a BFC. Hugo Bomoka situation, because he is still contract with the Mohun Bagan, and Mohun Bagan से player release करवाना इतना easy है नहीं. So ज़्यादा उनके ऊपर depend रहेगा कि क्या उनको ऐसे.
But the question Mohun Bagan is, who is Mohun Bagan able to sign? And Jamie McLaren at the moment is confirmed nowhere. Jamie McLaren is talking to multiple clubs across Asia. Let's see. Mohun Bagan is one of the clubs that he's talking to, but Jamie McLaren at this moment, as we speak, has signed no contract anywhere, be it in India, be it Japan, be it in Korea, be it in China, be it in the Middle East.
Gerard Zaragoza का क्या सिचुएशन है सर? एंड राहुल अगर आपको पता है तो will he continue or they are looking for
राहुल को पूछो, राहुल का क्लब है.
I mean, honestly, again, I don't know about whether he's staying, going, what the plan is, but I haven't seen anything from him to suggest that he has been able to stamp his philosophy or his style of play. We still don't understand what we're getting from Gerard Zaragoza. I don't know if he needs an entire season for that or what the thing is, but at least by now, I think halfway through the season, you got half the season. At least you would have had an idea about what the coach is trying to do. We still don't know that, and I think
और
that's the
एक
scary part.
एक चीज राहुल, एक न्यूज आ रही है कि BFC is planning to spend a big in this transfer window to again
I mean
back into
that
their
I
consecutive
think
play.
that's possible. I think after finishing 10th, I think Parth Jindal also expressed his sort of disappointment with the season, and yeah, that I'm not surprised with. But again, it depends. It's the problem with BFC. I think has been the last couple of seasons we changed way too much. Like we have last season we brought in Kezia Windop, we brought in Ryan Williams, you got in Damjanovic. I think we had four new foreigners, out of which Kezia Windop will not. It doesn't look like it's going to happen for him at BFC. Ryan Williams looks okay. You've extended Jovanovic. That's nice. Harvey's contract is up, so I don't know what's happening with him. And then you've got, yeah, there's just a lot of uncertainty, and there'll be again a wholesale of changes. Hopefully, the Indian core, I'm hoping for the next few years remains the same because Nikhil's got on a long contract, Suresh is on a long contract, Sana's on a long contract, and if Rahul Bege comes in, that suits very well. There was questions about who will play centre back if
बट
Rahul
ये,
Bege is coming.
ये बट ये
Yeah,
निखिल पुजारी आपके साथ है लॉन्ग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के साथ, देन व्हाई राहुल बेके
yeah, so I think Rahul Beke will play
एज
as
अ
a second
सेंटर
centre
बैक
back.
और राइट बैक?
I think he'll play a second centre back with Alex Jovanovic. Sana Singh, as we've seen, has sort of played as a number 6 in the last few games under Jared Zaragoza, so that's an option as well. So there's a way that even Beke and Sana Singh play in the same system. So I think that's what becomes interesting um, for BFC. So if Rahul
And
Beke does.
biggest question is about Sunil Chhetri.
Sunil Chhetri. Yeah, I mean, of course, it is. I think there's no other question. I think Sunil Chhetri, it looks like he wants to finish his BFC season career on a high. I think that's what he's waiting for. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure all the fans also want to see him leave on a high. But at this
पर नहीं
stage, I
नहीं,
don't
वो
know
तो
what
नहीं नहीं राहुल, वो आपने प्लेयर का एम्बिशन बोला, वो तो हर कोई प्लेयर का होता है.
true,
बट
true,
व्हाट
true.
अबाउट द BFC मैनेजमेंट, व्हाट दे वांट्स टू डू विद दैट?
See, I think Sunil's best role, as sad as it is, was what he was doing the last season, which was coming off the bench, giving you good 20, 30 minutes and potentially scoring a goal. I think that is what Sunil Chetri's role should be even this season because he's not going to be there in the long term. So, yeah, I think it's time to start that process at least, to start moving away from Sunil Chetri. So yeah, Hiren, apart from that, other players we have spoken about. Alberto Nogueira, Pereira Diaz has been linked, Raul Beke has been linked, Tiri has been linked, like Arnav mentioned.
डेलगाडो भी बीच में लिंक हुआ
Yeah,
था, बट आई
Delgado
थिंक
as
अब
well.
अब क्योंकि हाँ.
Yeah, Jovanovic extension hasn't been confirmed by the club, but yeah, strong rumors yesterday. Kale now also confirmed. So we'll see what happens with that. So that's BFC. Jamshedpur, Hiren.
I think Jamshedpur, same story as always every year. I think they will again build a squad because there are a couple of Indian and foreign players are leaving. Elsinio, Chimachuku, Stevenovic, फिर उसका मंजेरो, everyone is leaving. जो न्यूज आ रही है, and Indian player में भी देखे कि जो लाकरा है उन सब ने भी यहाँ पे लीव किया है. So they will मोहम्मद सनन के का यहाँ पे भी मोहन बगान के साथ ज्यादा रूमर आ रहा था. So they will again rebuild. I think and कोच भी अभी उनका अनसर्टेन है कि क्या वो इसी के साथ कंटिन्यू करेंगे या फिर नया कोच आएगा. So they
But
will
you think
they
it's
in a every season.
yeah,
They
you
are
think
in a
it's
every season
disappointing.
basically rebuild phase. And
But do you
disappointing
think
because
because they
absolutely.
did well? I thought they did decently last season. I know they're 11th, but the standings don't tell the entire story, I think.
वही वही वाला सीन है ना भाई कि आपने एक अच्छा मतलब क्या बोलते कि बेस बना लिया था. अब यहाँ से आप आगे जाके क्या बोलते कि उसके ऊपर बिल्ड कर सकते थे, जैसे नॉर्थ ईस्ट यूनाइटेड ने किया कि दे रिटेन द कोच, दे रिटेन सम ऑफ द क्रूशियल फॉरेनर्स. इसमें अगर आप देखें तो जमशेदपुर डेफिनेटली एल्सिनियो, मंजारो, इस तरह के फॉरेनर्स को अगर वो रिटेन करते हैं, उसके ऊपर टीम को बिल्ड करते हैं, देन दे डेफिनेटली हैव ए यू कैन से कि हायर चांसेस कि नेक्स्ट सीजन यहाँ पे खालिद भाई जमशेदपुर के थे लेकिन वो 6 महीने के लिए थे. अभी देयर इज नो श्योरिटी कि वो यहाँ पे नेक्स्ट सीजन के लिए कंटिन्यू करेंगे. स्टीवेनोविच का भी अभी कुछ पता नहीं है. सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी रिगार्डिंग द प्लेयर्स एंड कोचेस. सो आई एम सीइंग जमशेदपुर इन अगेन a rebuild phase in this.
Fair enough. And finally, Hyderabad FC. What is the situation with Hyderabad? A lot of questions. A lot of people have asked about Hyderabad as well.
The situation with Hyderabad is very simple. Hyderabad has a transfer ban. So Hyderabad cannot sign any players. So that's the first situation. And potentially any player can leave Hyderabad if he's not been paid his salary for a certain period of time. So the question at Hyderabad is, Mark Zoe has already been confirmed at East Bengal. I think that Amar, Abdul Rabe could also be on the way out. Alex Saji was linked with East Bengal at some stage as well. So the question is, will they retain, so therefore for me, the first question is, when is the investor coming in, if the investor is coming in? And I've been saying this for weeks and months. And again, we come back that certain people confirmed the investor coming tomorrow or day after. The investor still, there's been 2-3 years that the investor is not
1.5 साल से चल रहा है.
No, last 2-3 years. 3 years, I think, by now. This has been going on. And as long as that is not sorted, you will not have any incomings. You will have just outgoings in Hyderabad. That's their problem. Let's see who stays actually in the end. I don't know. They might be playing with an under 19 or under 17 squad in the end if things don't get good. And then the ISL needs to ask itself the question is, how FSDL needs to ask the question is, can you allow such a club to play in the league or not?
Just to follow up on how long can Hyderabad sustain this? Because if they can't get in players and that players keep moving away, is there they have to ask themselves, is there a point in continuing?
I think the club is trying to weather the storm and trying to hope that at some stage an investor comes in. Again, I've heard a few potential individuals or groups or companies coming in and investing in the club. It's not happening. And to me is very simple at the moment. It's about survival, but the question is again, the ISL also has to ensure a certain standard. Players are not getting salaries, coaching staff are not getting salaries, normal general staff are not getting salaries for quite a while. It can't continue. I think FSDL at some stage needs to step in and say, listen, guys, sort your house in order, or otherwise we take away your license to play in the ISL. As hard and harsh as that would be, but I think that's the only way forward in this kind of a situation, because it's embarrassing if this thing happens.
I think unfortunate what is happening with Hyderabad. Hopefully, I mean, again, we keep saying this about Hyderabad. Hopefully, there is that cash injection and they can sort of stay afloat. But thanks everyone for joining us in the chat today. We've run through all the 12 ISL teams transfer updates. Till now, we'll have more.
No, you haven't.
Have we not? Oh,
Mohammedan FC.
Of course. I'm sorry. We've got another promoted team. So that's that. Hiren Adama, on Mohammedan Sporting.
Mohammedan Sporting.
Yes, sir.
They've been linked with multiple players. It looks like David is finally going to East Bengal. That's been going on for a year now. So therefore, that is one. I think Mohammedan Sporting still are waiting to get their license of being allowed to play in the ISL. So that's another question. Have they put in the bank guarantees and other things? So I think Mohammedan Sporting playing in the ISL is still not 100% certain. But I hope that they sort those things out, and they're trying to build a good team. I think they have a decent basis of a team. If they can retain some of their players, some of their better players, in Eddie Hernandez for them, who was the key striker in the end to get them into the ISL. So for me, that's a question that is the others, Kozlov and others who they've brought in, Kazimov as well. They had a decent set of foreigners, and the Indians as well. Some of them, of course, on loan, but I think Mohammedan Sporting potentially could put a team together. Again, I think they will look at Punjab FC and how they've done certain things and try and replicate that. Mohammedan could be an interesting thing to see.
Yep. Hiren, your expectations from Mohammedan Sporting next year?
I think expectation to 3 Kolkata clubs. So there will be an interesting battle and derbies, Kolkata derbies. lots of derbies. So वही excitement है, and I think पहला सीजन तो डेफिनेटली जैसे सर ने परफेक्टली बोला कि पंजाब एफसी की तरह उनको भी उसी तरह स्टेप बाय स्टेप आगे बढ़ना चाहिए, rather than having a high expectation from just a first season. So let's see how they are going to build their team. And
Yep. Yes, guys. So now we have rattled through every single team, 13 teams, because Mohammedan Sporting did get promoted. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks, Arma. Thanks, Hiren. Everybody watching, please do like and share the videos, subscribe to all the channels. Again, big congrats to Hiren on reaching 10K. Subscribe to Curious Harry, Sports Khabri, and Arun Foot. We'll be back. Good night, please.
Good night, everyone.
good night.